Hello everyone, and welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 252. I am Andrew Eisen. If I had my druthers, I would be pantsless. But that's a little bit rude when streaming live. Also, this chair, comfy as it is, you don't want to sit in it sans pants. Especially when it's hot and you're all sweaty and sticky. Because you try to move and you'll just go... Might tear off skin. Silly chicken, hello. So, I had some anime recommended to me 2 weeks ago. I watched one of them. I tried watching the other, Shadow's House. But for some reason that show, which is on Funimation, will not play for me. I bring up the episode 1 page, and the viewer starts, and then the viewer just closes. Doesn't happen with any other show I checked. So I couldn't watch it. But this week I thought I'd try again. Same thing. I figured it was just, maybe a temporary glitch that Funimation would fix. Nope, still same problem. So I thought, I'll try another browser. So I tried another browser, and it worked. But it was playing in English. Well, original language only in this house. So I flipped it over to Japanese, and it stopped playing with a message saying that this video is not available in your country. I'm sure Shadow's House is a very good show. But Funimation just really doesn't want me to watch it. Have I tried it on a different device? No. I guess my PS4 might be able to download a Funimation app. I guess I could try that. I could try it over on my work computer. Maybe I'll give that a try. Reroom trading, hello. So I've given the old college try, but I've been stymied at every turn. So I do appreciate the recommends. By the way, I am the next debut review I have already shot. It's for brand new cherry flavor. Beyond that, I don't have anything recorded or planned, so if anyone has any recommendations for a show I can debut review, let me know. Oh, I'm also, where are we? We are at the end of August, moving into September, so I am making plans for the Extra Life charity event, which will be in early November, so no worries, it's still 2 months out, but... I will be doing it again this year. The plan is for my sister to be here this year. Who knows what can change between now and then. Still working on what games I'm going to be playing and the milestones and incentives and all that fun stuff. But I have some ideas that I'm kicking around with different people, so... just wanted to let you know that the Extra Life charity event is about 2 months away, so get hyped, I guess. Alright, so let us return to the Great Ace Attorney. A couple things I wanted to talk about. I'd mentioned a few weeks ago that there's a lot of racism in the game. Again, not saying the game is racist, it just depicts racism, and I wasn't really sure why, because it didn't seem to... serve any narrative or character purpose. Do I know the date of the charity stream? I can look that up fairly quickly. Let's see. It is Saturday, November... where is it? I totally thought it would be on the front page. Let's see. Okay, well, maybe just looking at a calendar. I think it's November 6th. Saturday, November 6th, I believe. Why is that not on Extra Life's front page? You think it would be. Hmm. I believe it is Saturday, November 6th. What was I talking about? Great Ace Attorney. Okay, so, and then the next week I had heard that, well, yeah, there is racism in the game, but it does serve a narrative and character purpose, but you have to play through the entire first game. And the second one before you know what that is. Well, I beat the first game this week, I think this week, and there is one line of dialogue at the very end of the game that one of the characters, the prosecutor says to you, where a Japanese guy murdered his father or something. It's been like 5 days, I've completely forgotten. But one Japanese guy did him wrong, and that's why he's racist. Yeah. So I imagine it will go from there. I haven't started the second game yet, but so that's the first breadcrumb at the very end of the game. I still think it's kind of odd that yeah, the racism serves a narrative and character purpose, but you have to play through both games to see it. Odd choice. But what I'd really like to talk about is me and being wrong. Being very wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes I get it wrong. Sometimes I get it very, very wrong, and I would like this evening, if I may, to regale you with the story of me being oh so wrong. So we were playing great Robeldo. Hello. So we were playing Great Ace Attorney on the Sunday stream last week. And this takes place at the turn of the 20th century, so like 1900 something. So about 1900. The game has you. Your character takes a boat from Japan all the way to London. And it takes like 6 weeks to do that because, you know, there's a lot of land, there's a lot of continent in the way. So it's the characters are commenting that it's like a 5-6 week boat ride from Japan to London. But thanks to the magic of sending a telegraph, that can be done in a matter of hours. You can get instead of snail mailing it 6 weeks to London, you can actually get a message there and back within a day. And the character then says, and this is due to the magic of extending an electrical wire along the floor of the seabed thousands of miles all the way to Japan. And I immediately said, oh, come on, no, that's not how it works. And I went into a exasperated diatribe talking about all of the incredible hurdles that would prevent someone from running an electrical cable thousands of miles along the seafloor, both from deployment, maintenance, signal amplification, all kinds of things that would become a problem from simply doing that. And the chat helpfully chimed in. It's like, no, Andrew, that's literally what they did. They ran cable underwater. It's like it's what we do now. There's cables underwater. I mean, they're all fiber optic cables. This was before even coax. But yeah, back then, literal electric. I'm like, really? I mean, yeah, they could run cables underwater, but thousands of miles underwater? And the chat was like, yeah. And I think it was Lou who helpfully pointed out, so yeah, the first working transatlantic telegraph cable, 1858. I was like, huh, really? Well, shucks. So I looked that up after the stream, not because I didn't trust my stream or thought I was being led astray, but because I wanted to learn how the hell we managed to do that in the mid-19th century. And all of the hurdles that I had listed were actually problems that we had to overcome. Oh yeah, it was a massive pain in the ass. But it's one we managed to do, and the first transatlantic telegraph cable was laid in 1858. And it broke after 3 weeks. It took a couple of years to get to do a better one. But yeah, it was ridiculously difficult to pull off. Now, at the time I was saying that, what I was thinking, because the characters had just talked about the boat ride from Japan all the way around to London, is I was imagining a single cable going down the Thames, out and around the southern tip of Africa, and across the Indian Ocean all the way to Japan. I was like, well, that's just silly. That's not... I mean, you wouldn't do that. You would go across Europe and Asia and then underwater for the last leg. So I looked up I found a map from 1901 of the network of underwater telegraph cables at the time, from 1901. And while it is true that they almost certainly would not have routed around the southern tip of Africa and across the Indian Ocean to get a message to Japan, in 1901, they definitely could have, because they had the infrastructure to do so. So I was still very, very wrong. So, but that's the nice thing about video games, and by extension, helpful chats, is you can learn things. And that's one of the nice things about not being perfect, is because you have the opportunity to learn things. If I was perfect and I knew everything, I'd never learn anything. And how dull would that... I mean, I guess I could show off and pat my own back, but, you know, that'd be kind of dull. Never learn anything new. I spent about 30-40 minutes looking at... reading the story of the immense logistical and technological hurdles that we overcame to get a transatlantic telegraph cable laid. That kind of stuff's fascinating to me. And were it not for being completely wrong, I would not have done that, so. Oh, but my wrongness does not stop there, no. So, at some point during the stream, I don't remember if I was prompted by anything in particular in the game or not, but I was making fun of the old adage, best thing since sliced bread. And I was talking about that saying, and saying, yeah, best thing since sliced bread. Glad sliced bread came along because sandwiches were really big and awkward. It was just meat and cheese and lettuce between two whole loaves of bread, just smashed together. And the chat helpfully pointed out, said, yeah, you know that the best thing since sliced bread is referring to the availability of pre-sliced loaves in the grocery stores, right? It's not actually talking about the first person who had the idea. It's like, you know what? We should chop this loaf up into smaller pieces. And I thought, yeah, that sounds reasonable. You see, I had always considered the best thing since sliced bread phrase to be just a silly joke. Wow, that's the best thing since sliced bread. I always thought it was supposed to be funny, but no, there would have came a point where bread first became available to be purchased pre-sliced. So I looked it up. When was sliced bread first widely available? Well, according to the sources I looked at, 1928. So, the first working transatlantic telegraph cable predates sliced bread by 70 years. After the stream, I engaged in a bit of self-reflection. Jared says, you can still buy non-sliced bread. You absolutely can buy non-sliced loaves of bread, yes. 'Tis true, 'tis true. So, while self-reflecting, I thought, had I been presented with a trivia question, this particular trivia, if someone had come up to me, Andrew, I want you to just, not riff off the top of your head, not be distracted by video games and a chat. Just, here's a question for you. Take some time to really think about it. And what would your answer be to when was the first working transatlantic telegraph cable laid? And I thought about it, and I tried to be as honest with myself as possible. I thought if I'd really thought about that, I would have thought, well, we definitely had a network of transatlantic telegraph cables working in World War I, so we definitely had it by 1918. So, probably turn of the century. Had I actually not been distracted by video games and the chat and everything else, I still would have been off by half a century. So, wrong! Non-sliced bread fresher that way? Can be, yeah. I mean, kind of depends on what your goal with the loaf is. For example, if you're going for like if you're gonna make a French toast for lots of people, you could easily go through like the entire loaf. So may as well buy those nice thick cut loaves. If you're gonna be making a big pasta dish and you want to make some garlic bread, yeah, I'd go for an uncut loaf. I'd probably just slice that sucker long ways, slather cheese and butter and garlic and all kinds of crap, put it back in, throw it in put it on a tray, wrap it in foil, put it in a paper bag, something, and put it in the oven. Yeah, so it really depends on bread is cool, yo. So many options. Railroad should have given me a clue. Well, a clue towards transatlantic underwater cabling. We still don't have any underwater railroads. I knew we had. I probably phrased it poorly while I was playing the game, because I remember someone saying, it's like, you do realize we have underwater cabling, right? So I must have made it sound like that I didn't think that underwater cables were ever a thing. They absolutely were. I knew that telegraph was a thing at the time, and I knew that underwater cabling was a thing that at the time. But I was thinking, thousands and thousands of miles of seabed cabling going all over the world? 1900 seems pretty early for that. Nope, not at all. I was wrong. So, let's see, where is my topic list? Let's talk about pizza. We're going from sliced bread all the way to pizza. I thought you might coast to coast in US. I don't know what that means. I mean, we do have a coast-to-coast railroad system in the US. Don't know what that has to do with underwater cabling, though. Pizza. I am routinely flabbergasted by those who are personally offended by toppings that other people put on their pizza that you're not eating. Like, meant coast to coast with the cables? Yeah, again, but I was talking underwater cabling. Coast to coast, across the Atlantic Ocean, thousands of miles underwater. That's what I was talking about. Not dry land cable. You know, string that stuff up on poles. Had that going all over the place. So I'm not sure why you think a railroad would give me a clue. I'm just not following your train of logic. Yeah, train. Not following your train of logic, Jared. Not saying you don't have one. I'm just not following it. So pizza. I like pineapple on pizza. I like Hawaiian pizzas. I know many people don't. I know many people feel that pineapple on a pizza is gross, which is fine. Don't eat it. But I've never understood those who seem to get genuinely personally offended by the very idea of pineapple on a pizza. How could you do that to pizza? Oh, you don't like pineapple on pizza. Okay. There are many toppings that I don't like on pizza, like anchovies or peppers. To a lesser extent, olives and mushrooms, just because they're so damn hard to pick off. But anchovies and peppers particularly, because if you put anchovies and peppers on half of a pizza, I can't even eat the other half, because their essence infests the entire pizza. I can still taste the anchovy and peppers from the other side of the pizza. But I have never cried to the heavens, "What a travesty! How dare you!" 'Cause it's your pizza. I don't have to eat it. I genuinely don't get this. Joe loves pizza. I love pizza. Haven't had pizza in a long time. Problem with living alone is I could get a pizza, but then I'd eat the entire thing. Not because I should, but because I can. And I want to. So how about watermelon on your pizza? I don't think that... I've never tried it, but I don't think it would work. Taste-wise or texturally. Too watery. It'd make your pizza soggy. Probably have to cure or candy the watermelon, maybe. Do something with it. Ah, Jared heard transcontinental instead of transatlantic. Okay, that's why. See, Jared doesn't like pineapple on pizza, which is fine, as long as Jared isn't, like, you know, harassing people who do. I mean, you know, lightly ribbing your friends. You know, I have a friend who likes Dragon Ball Z. The worst anime. You know, and we give each other crap about, you know, I like Yu Yu Hakusho. He likes both Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho, so it's kind of hard. But I don't like Dragon Ball Z. I think that show fails in every single regard. Like, there's nothing redeeming about it. It fails in storytelling. It fails in art, animation, pacing, direction, character design, which I may have already said, action, choreography, effects, voice acting in both language. Like, there's literally nothing good about the show from my perspective. But I would never suggest it shouldn't be aired, or it shouldn't be printed on DVD or Blu-ray, or that no one else should ever enjoy it. You know what I do about Dragon Ball Z? A show I don't like and think has absolutely no entertainment value at all? I don't watch it. And I sit here, unbothered by everyone else who loves it. In fact, I'm kind of bummed out that I don't like it, because, as I've mentioned many times before, I like liking things. Chaos dislikes pineapple in general. Well, yeah, if you dislike pineapple in general, you're probably not going to enjoy it on your pizza. So, at some point, someone on TikTok thought, you know, instead of putting watermelon on pizza, what I'm going to try is making a pizza with a watermelon base. So, take a watermelon, cut a thin slice out of the middle, and now you have a disc of watermelon. put pizza sauce and cheese on top and bake it in the oven. Pizza with a watermelon base. Okay? I don't think that's going to work. Domino's of Australia saw that. Thought it would be fun to try themselves. So they did on their own TikTok. And they admitted, yeah, these don't really work. Wouldn't imagine it did. So that's just going to fall apart. Be very watery. They changed the pizza sauce to like some type of barbecue sauce, and I think that's a pretty good idea because watermelon's very sweet, so is tomato sauce. That would probably be oversweet, so replacing it with something more tangy like barbecue sauce, that sounds like a good idea, but again, watermelon is just too watery. I don't think that would work. But again, I'm not offended, I'm not angry, and I don't think anyone else should be either. Now, I say this because I did see very angry people on the social medias and people who run entertainment websites actually devoting full-page articles to how offended they are that someone would disrespect pizza in this way. How dare you, sir? Now, I can only hope that these articles and such are tongue-in-cheek. But these days, it's kind of hard to tell. Now, if Domino's of Australia had replaced something popular, or anything, on its menu with watermelon pizza, I could understand people being upset. So, for example, pepperoni pizza is a pretty popular standby. If Domino's had said, you know what, we've replaced pepperoni pizza with watermelon pizza on our menu, I could understand people being upset because you're losing access to something you enjoy. Oh, damn watermelon pizza? Damn watermelon pizza! It's because of you that I don't have my pepperoni! But that's not what Domino's did. Hell! Domino's didn't even add the item to their menu. It was just a fun thing they did on social media. It's not on their menu. You can't buy it. The watermelon pizza can't hurt you. It only exists on TikTok. My favorite pizza? Stuffed crust. As far as toppings go, I'm kind of a cheese pizza guy, but there are some that I like. I had a what I called a pigs and figs pizza once, which was really good. I think it was figs and prosciutto, I think, or ham, maybe. There's a reason I called it pigs and figs, which was a much better name than whatever the actual name was. I like white pizzas, which are usually garlic and Alfredo sauce and sometimes some other stuff, but that's genuinely. Had a hamburger pizza that was really good. Some toppings I can enjoy are pineapple, let's see, like most meats are okay. Like grilled chicken, I'm okay with. Hamburger, I'm fine if it's ground. Like tomato, I'm okay with as long as it's diced. Really, where I run into problems is where the toppings are really big. Like you have a like pineapple, I would not enjoy if it was a round of pineapple instead of a chunk. Same thing with tomato. I don't want a big slice of tomato on there. So I don't want to bite a topping in half when I'm eating the pizza. But the stuff I don't like are most vegetables. I don't like anchovies, don't like olives, don't like peppers, don't like mushrooms. most everything else is fine. You know, avocado's fine. Yeah. Can't go wrong with cheese pizza, though. Matthew's been playing Psychonauts 2, and it's very good so far. Alright. I played the first one. I thought it was okay. It's cute. It's got a lot of nice ideas. Controls kind of like ass. But it's inventive, and it's funny. Yeah, I played it years after it originally came out, so maybe I would have had... If I'd played it when it came out, I'd hold it in higher regard. Because games can get... even games that you loved upon release, you play them 10 years later, and it's like, ooh, this one's... yeah, this is a little tough. Alright. So let's get into a little news here. Wait a minute, do I have this in the wrong order? I do. This one's first? Yeah. Okay. So, I saw an article on The Wrap. Or rather, a news aggregator had linked to The Wrap. And it was about the CEO of NATO, the National Association of Theater Owners, talking about vaccine mandates in theaters. So I clicked the link and went over to The Wrap. And sadly, it is a subscription site, and I could only read, like, the first paragraph. But that's enough. So, here's what the lead is. When talking about the idea of mandating that theater customers be vaccinated, the CEO of National Association of Theater Owners, John Fithian, said, "Honestly, it's a mixed bag for movie theaters. On the one hand, it will cost us some business, and we know that, because some unvaccinated people won't be able to attend our cinemas." I don't know what else he said. So I'm going to try not to be mean to this guy. But I'm a little put off by the idea of, well, vaccine mandates are a mixed bag for movie theaters. He could mean any number of things by this, but at the end of the day, for me, the way I look at it is vaccine mandates... Well, let's talk about the mixed bag, because he seems to be saying that we will lose business up front, but maybe make up for it later. Like, there are some people who can't get vaccinated, so I would imagine such a vaccine mandate would have an exception for people who can't get vaccinated for whatever reason, due to, you know, some type of being immunocompromised in some way, having some really weird allergy. There are some people who legitimately can't take the vaccine. I would assume that in any vaccine mandate, such people would be excluded. What a vaccine mandate, I would assume, would be meant to do is exclude people who can get the vaccine, just choose not to. So, he's right in that there are some people who refuse to take the vaccine and then would not be able to go to the movie theater, and that would lose them money. Sure, but a portion of them would then get the vaccine and come to the theater because a lot of people want to go to the movies. But on the other hand, and to be fair, he may go into this later into the article, which again I didn't read because it's behind a paywall and I don't have a subscription to that site. There are people like me who are vaccinated and am currently not going to the movies because I don't feel safe doing so. If there were vaccine mandates at theaters, I would be very likely to go to the theater because there are movies that I want to see. I would have liked to see Black Widow when it came out 2 months ago. Instead, I have to wait until October 6th or whenever it comes out on Disney+. I would love to see Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, which comes out next week, I think. But I'm going to have to wait a while. Or see it at the drive-in. Same thing with the Eternals and Spidey-Man. I love me my superheroes because I'm a big dork. So, I don't know which way it would ultimately balance, but seems like that would at least close to balance out. But my perspective is this. Mandating patrons of your establishment be vaccinated will encourage more people to get vaccinated. It won't get everyone vaccinated, but I can guarantee that there will be some people who are like, fine, I really want to go to the movies, I'll get vaccinated. And that's a net good. Because the more people that get vaccinated, that leads to less sick and dead people. Now, I don't run a business. If I did, maybe my opinion would change. But as a non-business running person, that right there, less sick, dead people, that's enough. That should be enough. I would hope that would be enough. But if it's not, here's a cynical business way of looking at it. Sick and dead people don't go to the movies as often as healthy and alive people. Let's see. Matthew says, wish we had a vaccine mandate. Was a thing in Florida. Oh, wow, Florida. Yeah. My roommate's kid got COVID via his daycare, and now we're in self-quarantine. Sorry to hear that. Yeah. A lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are continuing to get sick, and a lot of people are dying. And it is all absolutely needless. That's a downer. I have a bunch of various supplemental information I could share that bolsters that claim, but it's really depressing. So I don't want to. All I can say is, if you can get vaccinated, and I know not everyone can, but if you can, please do. It's free. Matthew said, like I said, glad I'm back. So far, no symptoms. It's good. I'm glad you're taking precautions anyway. Because as most people are well aware, vaccination does not mean immune. It means resistant. You know, you can still get COVID being vaxxed. You're just vastly less likely to. And if you do, you're much less likely to get seriously ill. In fact, you may be asymptomatic. So maybe the basics of this stuff should be taught in school, because it seems kind of lost on a lot of people. Because a lot of people seem to come away with the idea that, vaccine, that means I am completely immune. No, that's not what that means. I mean, that's kind of like saying, I'm wearing my seatbelt, I now cannot die in my car. The car is now death-proof, just like the movie. No, that's not how that works. Remember what happened in Death Proof? Kurt Russell drove head into another car, and he didn't die. His passenger did. He didn't die, but he did end up in the hospital. Because he broke a bunch of stuff. An imperfect analogy. I just wanted to talk about Death Proof for a moment. Alright, next topic. Okay, Overwatch should have front-loaded these topics. Oh well. So, Activision Blizzard's been in the news. Maybe a hoid. So, corporations generally are more than happy to employ and protect abusers and sexual predators. The only time it becomes a problem is the times when it becomes a problem. Well, it became a problem for Activision Blizzard in the last couple of weeks because they're getting sued for that. And so they've been like, they've had some pretty mixed messaging. They've actually let go of a bunch of people who I'm sure will land on their feet in some form or another, because that's typically what happens. Well, one of the people that Blizzard let go was a person who one of the characters in the game Overwatch was named after. So now Overwatch set out a message earlier this week which says, we're going to rename this character in Overwatch. And, quote, going forward, in-game characters will no longer be named after real employees. And we will have more thoughtful and discerning about adding real-world references in future Overwatch content. So what I'd like to talk about is this: going forward, in-game characters will no longer be named after real employees. To me, that feels like they're possibly learning the wrong lesson here. All right? My suggestion would be, going forward, we will not employ sexual harassers. Huh? Because that was the problem. Not that you're naming characters after real people. That, in and of itself, not a problem. The problem is you employ sexual harassers. Now, you could say, well, we're not going to name characters after our employees just in case they turn out to be sexual harassers. Okay. But, again, I don't think the problem was that the fact that this individual was a sexual harasser was something that snuck up on you. Who knew? They knew. This particular individual had been with the company for over 15 years. So it's very unlikely that someone's been with the company for 15 years just suddenly started sexually harassing people at the tail end of that tenure. So do due diligence. Try not to hire sex pests. And if they turn out to be abusers and sexual harassers, immediately fire them. If you do that, it is incredibly unlikely that any character you name after someone you employ will end up having that kind of association. It could happen. But I just feel that this seems kind of the wrong lesson. Well, we're not going... Oh, okay. Well, we're just not going to name characters after our employees anymore. That's not the problem. The problem is you employ sexual harassers. That sounds like it's like, oh, we're going to keep the sexual harassing employees. We're just not going to name characters after them anymore. I'm pretty sure that's not what they're intending, but... All right. Let's move topics. Let's talk about porn. We all like porn, except those of us who don't. I think that covers everyone. OnlyFans is a website which caters to fans only. If you're a hater, you need not apply. It is for only fans. OnlyFans has been around since 2016, and it is known primarily for adult content. My understanding is it's kind of like YouTube, in which you can get an account and share your own created content. In this case, pictures and videos and live streams. A good chunk of it is pornographic, or at least softcore. You know, nude pictures and some actual explicit sexual acts. And so it's been for several years, and that's what OnlyFans is known for. Does it have content that is not adult? Yes, but that's not what that's not what butters its bread. It's the adult content. It's what it's known for. It's what it came into popularity for. Hi, Lee. So a week ago, OnlyFans announced that it would be banning pornography on its site. And it told Variety that it is making changes, quote, to comply with the requests of our banking partners and payout providers. In other words, money. So, it was happy to build its brand on the back of sex work, but once it reached the top, kicked them to the curb. Analogies are imperfect. I'm going to do my best to analogize this, but I'm going to have to fudge reality a bit to get it to match. Let's pretend that authors, novelists, poets, people who write books, are a heavily stigmatized group of people. Society hates authors. Not in the hates lawyers way that we just joke about when will the world be better with less lawyers in it, but stigmatized in a way that it's sometimes not safe for authors to walk the streets because people might beat the ever-loving hell out of them, might kill them. That's how stigmatized that profession can be, even though it shouldn't be. They're just people who write books. Everyone loves reading books, except those who don't. But regardless, writing books, not something that hurts anybody. So imagine if Amazon, today we live in this world where authors are stigmatized thusly, and imagine if Amazon said, you know what? From this day forward, we're not selling books anymore. Screw them books, am I right? It's all those filthy, degenerate authors. Well, that would probably be detrimental to, people who write for a living. It'd also be kind of crappy for Amazon because they came into popularity through books. And so it is with OnlyFans, who clearly does not care about its people. Again, another example of a company that does not give the slightest poop about people, only about money. As I said, built its brand on the back of sex work, and then as soon as it made it, it kowtowed to money people and just threw all the sex workers under the bus. Not cool, yo. Joe, you're subscribed to an OnlyFans. That makes sense. So it's like, okay, so it's like a YouTube thing that you, well, actually YouTube I think does subscriptions too, but yeah, okay, cool. So my mind was like, I wonder if someone could make like an OnlyFans for their cat. It's just like videos of the cat like grooming its crotch and licking its butt. Just as I'm sure someone would get off on it, but it'd be pretty damn funny. You know, a cat just you know, laying like this with its limbs outstretched because it's hot, you know. That could be really funny. I have no idea what the hell the OnlyFans' terms of service are, but what I'm imagining is actually very funny. I mean, imagine if, if Grumpy... I know Sauerkraut's dead now, but if Grumpy Cat had an OnlyFans page. I don't know, who are the known cats? Who are the popular kitties these days? Because Grumpy Cat died a while ago. And as Joe points out, you can do anything you want. That's correct. So, as I'm understand it, and obviously so, if you have a presence on OnlyFans, it is not incumbent upon you to, show people your butt. I'm sure you can play video games or blog or video blog or whatever. I don't know. I'm speaking out my ass. Anyway, so needless to say, nobody liked that, except prudes, I guess. And OnlyFans received a metric ton of poop over the last week, and deservedly so, because it was a terrible, horrible thing to do to an already horrifically stigmatized community. OnlyFans is a place where such a stigmatized community can safely work. Or at least much more safely than they can in other venues. You control where you are, who you interact with, and everything's done over video, so you don't have to worry about someone beating the hell out of you or murdering you, like a lot of sex workers actually have to deal with. So that was a good thing. And that good thing was like, oh, nope, throw that away. Well, after OnlyFans receiving a ton of well-deserved poop over the last week, they reversed course. They said, yeah, okay, thanks to everyone for making your voices heard. We have secured assurances necessary to support our diverse creator community and have suspended the planned policy change. We stand for inclusion, and we will continue to provide a home for all creators. Well, that's nice, but you see, no one trusts you now, OnlyFans. Well, speaking for myself, I don't trust you, OnlyFans, and I've heard from several other people that don't either, because seems like you could just, at a whim, change your mind again. I've read several articles on this, and apparently, let me find it here. The OnlyFans' claim is the change claims it had no choice regarding the policy change. That it was completely the fault of JP Morgan Chase Bank, Bank of New York Mellon, and the UK's Metro Bank, who all cited reputational risks and refused to do business with OnlyFans unless they got rid of such content. So in other words, OnlyFans claims that it was in a position where it wouldn't be able to pay anybody because the banks wouldn't work with them unless they got rid of that content. So hands were tied. What could we do? Probably whatever it is you did in the last week that made all of the banks spontaneously change their mind after spontaneously changing their mind after servicing you for 5 years. Ha! Needless to say, I don't believe OnlyFans in this case. I think the whole, it was the banks. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Could I be wrong about that? Oh, sure. I mean, I was wrong about transatlantic telegraph cabling. I could totally be wrong about this, too. But I don't believe them. I imagine it was probably something closer to our banking partners agreed to give us, OnlyFans, a better rate if we got rid of the adult content. So we said, yeah, because we don't care about people, we care about money. And then over the last week, we realized that we would lose so much business that the better rate wouldn't matter any. So we decided not to do it, and we'll go with the less favorable bank rate to keep our, customers. That seems a lot more likely to me. Do I have any proof of this? No. Nope. No, I don't. But I do find it exceedingly unlikely, this lay person who does not work in business. I find it unlikely that at least 3 completely separate banks who've been doing business with this site known for pornography for several years all simultaneously suddenly had a problem with pornography and said, we are going to completely pull out of the business unless you get rid of all the pornography. And even if that were the case, that OnlyFans found the magic words that convinced all of these banks to change their minds in a week. I don't find that very likely. I find it much more likely that OnlyFans negotiated a better rate for itself in exchange for getting rid of the adult content, and then made another business decision, not a people decision, a business decision. Saw that it would lose money even with the better rate. I find something like that a lot more likely to have transpired in this case. But again, I don't know. I don't have any inside information, and I'm not in business. I'm just a cynical dipshit. So don't take my word as gospel. Because I don't know what sliced bread is about, nor do I know when the first transatlantic telegraph cable was put in. 1858. I know now. But had you asked me a week ago, I'd have been wrong. I'd been off by half a century. Joe says the funny thing is that famous people started to dare to do porn only for OnlyFans. I'm trying to think of under what circumstances would I do adult entertainment. Probably none. I mean, you'd have to pay me lots of money. I'm sure I'd do it for enough money. If you were like, Andrew, sex tape, $10 million, I'd be like, all right. Probably. $10,000? Nope. $50,000? Uh-uh. 10 million? Yeah, probably. 9 million? Yeah. 5 million? Yeah, probably. So, yeah, I don't think you could dare me to do it. Because I'm very, very shy. Well, body shy. So, yeah. I mean, I could, sit in shorts and a t-shirt and be a little bit cooler than I am right now. You can see me sweating. It's really hot in here. But I'm not really comfortable doing that. That's how shy I am. So, for me to do, for me to do adult entertainment would probably take a lot of money. Or something like, we've taken this stadium full of people hostage and we will blow them all up unless you release a sex tape. I mean, yeah, I guess I would do it to save a bunch of lives. Sure. hell, I'd do it to save one life. I mean, you kidnap someone and hold a gun to their head, and it's like, now you make a sex tape, or I'm gonna blow this person away. Like, all right, but I still wouldn't like it. I'd be really uncomfortable. I admire people who can do things that don't hurt anyone else that I can't do. I mean, whether it's like a physical feat that I physically can't do, like a double backflip, or playing the saxophone. I don't know how to play the sax. I think that's really cool. You know, anyone who's willing to show their butt on camera, I got a lot of respect for them, because that's not something I'm willing to do. Not unless lives depend on it, or you're going to pay me a lot of money. You know, because that's a level of confidence that I just don't have. So I always see that kind of stuff as admirable. I remember a friend of mine had done naked dancing while she was in college, I guess. Yeah. And she didn't want to tell me about that at first. Because this was when I was first getting to know her, so it's, basic, so what do you do? And she's like, I'm like, okay, don't tell me. It's fine. What I found particularly sad is I had to imagine, I don't remember if I ever asked her about this, but I had to imagine that there had been other people whom she'd shared her occupation with who reacted less kindly. And it's very sad. People shouldn't do that. It's mean. Jared dares me. No. There's a Patreon incentive. Once we get to 10 million, I'll open an OnlyFans page. Which got a ways to go. I'm currently pulling in, I think, like $30 a month on Patreon. So, well, it's a monthly thing. So, I don't know. What would I have to make monthly to release saucy content on OnlyFans? 20 grand a month? Would I do it for 20 grand a month? I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I'm not really worried about that because my Patreon is not getting up. My Patreon is not getting up high enough to do that. So, Lee says, "There goes the channel." Forget debut review. Oh goodness gracious! It is warm in here. That's why I have my bath towel. Wipe my brow and the rest of my face. And now this towel is going to smell like me sweating. I need to Febreze this towel. Jared says, Patreon just make you do it with the yearly anniversary. There you go. Speaking of which, I have 2 Patreon reward videos to do. One for Brian, one for Lou. Brian, I know what I'm doing. That will be in the next month at some point. Brian gave me a list of video games. So, it will be one of my Sunday streams will be dedicated to a video game that Brian wanted to see. And Lou, we are currently hashing out what she wants me to do for her Patreon reward video. For those who don't know, if you support me on Patreon at $10 a month for an entire year, I will make a video just for you. It could be play this game, or review this movie or song or book, or do a dramatic read of this Amelia Bedelia or Berenstain Bears book that I love from my childhood, or do another kitchen video where you make meatloaf, or I want you to make a video extolling your praises of the awesomeness that is me. You know, I'm pretty flexible, so stream from the bathtub, says Lindy. Jared says, could we donate $120 just to have a video? Sure. Okay. If you want to give me $120, I'll make you a video. If you don't want to wait the year, sure. You don't get your name in the credits. If you watch my YouTube videos, you'll notice the list of, I think it's 4 names or something like that. That's if you support me on Patreon at $5 a month or more, then you get your name in the credits. So, but yeah, Jared, I'd say sure. If you want to give me $120, I'll make you a video. Lindy says more profit too because no Patreon fees. That's true. Oh, also reminder to I've already told all my Patreon peoples this, but if those of you who don't know, I know I have some international folks. Let me put that a different way. I know not all of you live in the same country that I do. Patreon does have a way to convert it to your local currency. So, the $10 a month thing, that can be whatever the hell that is in British pounds or whatever your local currency is. So that is so it doesn't have to be, so that gets converted to automatically. So if that's a concern of yours, or you didn't know and that's why you don't support anyone on Patreon, now you know. So go support your favorite peoples in your own local currency. I actually have at least 2 people who support me in pounds, so we're time zone. There you go. So all right, that's the podcast. Yes, I'm happy with that. Let's see. Some if anyone has any suggestions for something to debut review, let me know in the comments. Next debut review is brand new cherry flavor. Don't know if I'll do that, if I'll release that this week or not. I have it shot. I don't think I edited it. Yeah, it's still sitting on my camera. I haven't edited it yet. The next part 3 of my sister and I's monthly movie mini reviews, and we're really stretching the the idea of mini. That'll be this week. We have yet to record part 4, but I only have 3 movies left, so we should be able to get it done. So didn't expect that to be 4 parts, but my sister and I are verbose. What are you gonna do? Let's see what else. Tomorrow we are on the Sunday stream, noon Pacific Standard Time. We are returning to Trails in the Sky. We are going to I already redid the cutscene where I chose the wrong answer, and I'm still a little salty about that. But I went back and answered correctly now. So we are back in the Saphiral Tower with Olivia. And we're going to open that treasure chest with the monsters in it. Now that Olivier's in my party, maybe I can kick their butts. Then we're going to go up to the roof, take the picture with Dorothy so she can help our framing and composition and stuff. And then we will continue from there. And that's pretty much where we left off. So, Chaos says Extra Life. Okay, so that's right. Yes, Extra Life this year, Saturday, November 6th. It will start at noon. It will go to noon the next day. I'm hoping that my sister will be here. I'm hoping that Super Metal Dave will be able to be here. We're all vaccinated, but who knows what's going to happen in the next 2 months. It may not be safe to travel. It may not be safe to go to other people's homes. Gonna have to try to play that by ear. Currently working on some different milestones and goals and incentives and stuff. I'll announce that stuff closer to the event once I figure it out. But one of the things I really want to do is one of the rewards I would like to do is if we meet a certain goal, then we'll get to visit my sister's Animal Crossing village. I think that'll probably be fun. Also, I would like to do something like anyone who donates X amount of dollars gets my sister's friend code, so you can go plant flowers in her village or send her mail, and we'll go look and see what damage you have wrought during this stream. So those are some of the ideas that I'm playing around with. If y'all have any ideas, please feel free to contact me on Twitter or the comment section or wherever. And I believe that's it. So hopefully I will see y'all back here tomorrow at noon Pacific Standard Time for some more Trails in the Sky. Oh yeah, GemCon is week after next, and I'm hosting a panel, so that's cool. So if GemCon is virtual this year, so you want to go, you can totally go. You don't have to actually go anywhere; just sit in front of the computer. So I'm co-hosting a music panel. That'll be fun. Okay, that's it. Hope to see you tomorrow for Sunday Game Stream. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.